All right, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about this other way. So matrices and fields. So this is kind of a more advanced topic. Uh, and fields. Okay, so let's let um, uh, so let's do this. So this is kind of matrix representations of fields. So let's let K over F be a finite extension of fields. So what does this mean? So this means that this is a finite dimensional vector space. So K is a finite dimensional F vector space. So K is a finite dimensional F vector space. Okay, and so this means that K looks like FV1 plus FV2 plus, okay, and let's suppose it's degree D, FVD. So so we have this, and where V1, V2, VD, these are elements of the field, so you can multiply them. So these are linearly independent over F. Okay, so the only linear combination that gives you 0 is 0 themselves. Okay, so now what we can do is let's look at a linear operator. So here's the setup, and so for each alpha and k, so what do we have? So we have there's a linear map psi of alpha from k to k. So this is an F linear map. So this thing here is an F linear, right? And so this is an F linear map, and how is it defined? So it's defined by taking F alpha, and then if I multiply times some elements, so let's write some V here. So V will be an element here. So it's a combination. It's an F linear combination of those V's. It's just alpha times V. Okay, so so what we have is that psi alpha. So what we really need to do is we could write down. So this is a linear map. Let's like prove that it's linear. So let's say V. So if we have two elements, so let's write it like this: CV plus W. Okay, so this is alpha CV plus W, and so this is C, so here C is an F, and V and W are in K. Okay, so this is C, and then we have alpha V plus alpha W, and so this is just so this is C psi alpha V plus psi alpha W. Okay, so it's a linear map. I'm not lying to you. Okay. So this is here like a little proof that map is linear. Okay, and so the point is that once we're given this, so given this map, psi alpha, we can write out a matrix. Okay, and so what we'll do is we use that. So we'll use some bijection with the standard Rn. So here so here what we'll do is we'll take K, right, and we map K to F. So what do we say that this is degree what D? Okay, so this goes to FD, right? And what it does is it takes A1, so we'll call this phi. So A1 V1 plus AD VD And this thing maps to, well, the standard vector, a1, ad. Okay? And so what we can do is we can make a linear transformation out of psi. We can now make a matrix, right? So we make a matrix out of this. So now using this basis, we make a matrix. Okay, and let's write down the matrix, right? So the matrix. Okay, so the matrix is the following. So you do phi. So we do it like this: phi inverse psi alpha phi. So this is here. This is a matrix now, and so this is a map from FD to FD. So this, so it's represented by presented by a D by D matrix. Okay, and this matrix has some very nice properties, right? So we defined the norm before. So like fun fact. Okay, so now what does this give us? Okay, and let's call this A alpha. Okay, so what does this give us? Okay, so what's really cool is that so it gives us this general definition. So we had the norm for quadratic number fields, but now we can have a general norm, right? So if we wanted to define the norm from k to f of some alpha, so what we define is this is defined to be equal to the determinant of a alpha. All right, and then if we wanted to define the norm, okay, and then I'm going to do some examples. So like if you want to try the trace from k to alpha, you define this to be the trace of a alpha, right? Other things that you can do with it, right? So the determinant, of a alpha minus t here. So this gives you some polynomial f alpha of t, right? And this thing has the property. So alpha has the property. So this is a polynomial. So that gives you an explicit polynomial where f alpha of alpha is equal to 0. So this thing here is an f of t. Okay, so now for any, so this is really cool. So this is, by the way, this, what does this follow from? So this is by the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So Cayley-Hamilton. Okay, so you can go Google that. All right, and then think about it, and then you can ask me if you have questions. Okay, so like okay, so this is really cool. Like we only defined this for quadratic fields over Q before, right? That was one of the things that we only defined. And now, so we only defined these norms and traces, but now we have like a kind of a general procedure for doing this, which is really amazing. Okay, so let me work this out in an explicit example, just so for sanity purposes, right? So that we can, so I can be really explicit. Okay, so here's my explicit example. Okay, so here let's take I don't know, we'll take f to be q, k to be q adjoin, I don't know, square root of 2 or I. Let's I don't know what we want to do. Let's do square root of 2. Okay, so if we do this, then and then let's take alpha to be, I don't know, 1 plus the square root of 2. All right. So here we know that k looks like, so q plus q times the square root of 2. So this is our basis. So v1 is equal to 1 and v2 is equal to the square root of 2. All right, and then so psi of alpha, so let's look what psi of alpha does to each of the basis vectors. So psi alpha of 1, so this is equal to 1 plus the square root of 2. Okay, and so psi of alpha of square root of 2, so this is 2 plus the square root of 2. Okay, so what happens is, so here's our two operations. And now what happens when we write this in matrix form? So A of alpha, okay, so here, this corresponds to the vector. So I'll write it in column form, I guess, now. So, so we're using that 1 corresponds to 1, 0, and square root of 2 corresponds to 0, 1. All right. So let's use this. This is kind of our code here. So this corresponds to 1, 1. And this corresponds, well, 2, 2. And I guess it really didn't matter that I made this. Anyway, so this corresponds to 1, 1. This corresponds to 1, 2. And then what this is saying is that this goes, so the 1 vector goes to 1, 1. And then this goes to 2, 2. So this is the matrix like this. Okay, so this is what we have. So you can note that A alpha, so note that A alpha of 1, 0, so this is 1, 1, and A alpha of 0, 1, this goes to 2, 2. Okay, so this is our matrix here. So this is the matrix corresponding to this particular element, right? And all right, so this is the matrix corresponding to this particular element, and let's just see that some of the properties that we did. So let's check. Okay, so let's do the norm. So the norm of q adjoin the square root of 2 to q of 1 plus 2, 1 times the square root of 2. Okay, so this is 1 plus the square root of 2 times 1 minus the square root of 2. That's how we defined it previously. And so this is a difference of squares, 1 minus the square root of 2 squared. So this is 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. Okay, so that gives us so it actually gives us a unit, by the way. Okay, so that's the first way. So the determinant of this matrix A of 1 plus the square root of 2, so that's the determinant of this matrix 1, 1, 2, 2. And so this is here, so this is 2, so this is 2, right, minus 2, which is 0. What do I do here? Ah, so this is not quite right. So this is 2, 1, right? This is 2, 1. Okay, so this is 2, 1. All right, let me fix that. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 here. Okay, so it's not 2, 2. It's this is a 1 here. Okay, so everything's still okay. So sorry about that. All right, so this is 2, 1. All right, so now we have, let's write this out. So this is 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. Okay, so now they match. Okay, so I made a small little area there. Okay, so let's look at the okay, so let's do the next part. So this is the first thing that we checked. So let's do another one. Right, so let's check, say, the characteristic polynomial. Right, so this is this thing here. Oh, let's go back. There we go. So let's check out this thing. Okay, so let's do that. Let's choose another color. Right, so red. Okay, so here, so let's do, are we going to do t minus a? Is that what we wanted to do? Yeah, we can do t minus t. So t minus 1, t minus 1, minus 2, minus 2. So we can take the determinant of this. Okay, and so this is t minus 1 squared plus, so this is minus minus, which is a plus, and then we get another minus, this is 4. Okay, So now we can check this. So let's check that this is a root. So let's plug in t is, so plug in t is equal to 1 minus the square root of 2. Okay, so we have 1 minus the square root of 2 here, minus 1 squared minus 4. And so that is, so these two 1's go away. And so we have minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4. Right, so this is equal to minus 4 I did it again. Let's see. 2, 2. Oh, so this is 1. This is a 1 here. I did it again. 1. Okay, so this is a minus. Okay, so let me do it in a correct color. Okay, so this is a minus 1. So that's what I messed up. So this is a minus 1, and this is a minus 2 now. Oh, sorry, this is a minus 2 because you have to multiply these two. That's a minus 2. And so this is, okay, so this is a 2 minus 2, which is 0. Okay, so now it works out. Okay, so you just need to not make stupid mistakes like I'm making. All right, so yeah, but that's how this works. Okay, so okay, so then the fact is that this map. So let me just kind of state this for the record. Okay, so there's the theorem. Oh, where'd it go? All right, so the theorem I gotta like turn down my audio. Okay, so the theorem, I don't think it's recording. So, let's see. There it goes. So theorem. I'll turn down the audio quality. I think it's lagging. Okay, hopefully hopefully the voice is okay. So the theorem says the following. The theorem is that the map A, so from K into M d by d over F given by, okay, let's call this A, right? Given by, alpha maps to A of alpha. And so this thing requires a given choice of basis. So this is an injective ring homomorphism. Okay, and so so this means that A of alpha plus beta is A of alpha plus A of beta, and A of alpha beta is A of alpha A of beta, right? And A of 1 is the identity matrix, the d by d identity matrix. Okay, and so the big point here, so the main point that I want to get across is that this map allows you to do linear algebra. So you have traces, you have norms, and that gives you characteristic polynomials. So it's very nice. All right, that's all I want to say about this method.